Great. Welcome to another episode of Schoolboy Bonanza, our chat show. Can you believe it's already our 16th episode? What
Wow.
an amazing Easter weekend we've had. Some great festivals, great rugby's, couple of upsets also, which just makes
Yes.
Schoolboy Rugby so excited and absolutely unpredictable. Of course, as always, joining me in the studio is, of course, Mr. Schoolboy Bonanza. How are you, Louis?
Good. How are you, Steve? I'm very happy
Uh,
to be here. Um, the Easter festivals were nothing short of amazing. So,
yeah, it's been amazing.
um, and as you know, you were in the studio on Saturday. We were at St. John's. And we had an absolute blast. Look, the sun fried us, I think, when we left. It wasn't as bad as the Noordside tournament because every with every game that changed over, we just put on sunscreen all over. At one stage, we all looked like snowmen because we just rubbed so much, and it actually helped, but it was a scorching day. It was a beautiful day. The
Yeah.
vibe was excellent. Um, and we were privileged to very close games. One or two games, the Nudgy game, but we'll get into that. The Nudgy game, they ran away with it on Saturday. They played very well.
Yeah.
But all the other games were quite close, and excellent, excellent, excellent rugby that we were privileged to see.
Wow. Wow. Of course, there was Easter festivals throughout South Africa. Our main focus were on five of the Easter festivals that took place. There's been a couple of under 14s and 16s, but we're going to have a look at the five Easter festivals. We can just quickly going to run through the results of the Easter festivals. Right. Let's jump into it. It's going to be a jam-packed episode, and as I said, some great rugby has been displayed.
Yes, so the presentation is not in a particular order. I just did it as I went along. So, and also, unfortunately, for the last day of St. John's, the Monday, we couldn't get hold of the results, but the others we've got. So just bear with us. Unfortunately, it wasn't ready by the time we were doing this. Right. So the first one, obviously, St. John's. Um,
Mm,
so this was day one. So Great College, Noordjewel. These were the second teams of both
yeah.
sides. Then the Golden Lions 15 Invitational versus Welkom Gym. What a close game. What a close game.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
we come to a very interesting one because remember when we had the interview with Naji, they said they're going to bring two teams over. So
Yes.
this was Naji College's second team versus St. Albans' first team, 24-11. Then now this one I'm very proud of. Graham College versus St. Benedict's, 57-5. And as you remember, we
Yeah.
also had an interview with Graham College, and the coach was
Yes.
very positive for this year. And it seemed, from what he told us, that they've got a very strong team for this year, and he was hoping they
Yeah.
would do very well. So I'm
Brilliant.
very happy for them for this result. Then Kingswood, St. David's, 45, Monument, Westlake. Now this
That's
is
an interesting result.
that is
That's
a
a very
very
interesting.
interesting result. Right.
Yeah. And just to also fall in there, Monument,
Mm,
of course, with that result, are now just outside the top 10. I think they're 12 or 13th,
yeah,
looking at the latest result. And we have to remember that Westlake Boys, of course, is a world-class team. They're ranked, they're one of New Zealand's number one schools in New Zealand, I think in the top three. And they also ranked in the top 10 of the top schools in the world. So, I mean, we're talking here about a world-class team. We also had an interview with Westlake's coach
yes.
earlier in the year.
And also remember what he told us that
Yeah.
coming to St. John's College, these would be their first games of the season because they
Yes.
actually start a little bit later. So,
Yeah.
and already from a South African point of view, most of the schools already had 3 or 4 games behind them. So I'm sure this was a huge advantage for Monument to have that game time under the belt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then Nudgee College, first team,
Wow.
and Grey College.
Yeah.
And in the very, very last seconds of the game, Nudgee put a drop goal over to win the game. Um,
Wow.
so I watched this game, and Steve, again, I was on the edge of my seat. Some of the most beautiful rugby I've seen in a very long time from both sides. Do not
Yeah.
take anything away from both sides. But I want to touch on something. After this loss, social media went in a frenzy. It absolutely went crazy. And I tried to look at some of these videos, trying to understand the context, whether I don't know if everyone watched the game who did videos on social media from my perspective, because I sat through this game. So I knew
Yeah.
exactly what was going on. And um, a lot of people had their knives out towards Great College. How can you lose this? And I thought to myself, these guys are schoolboys. That's number one. Number two, you've got two of the best sides in the world competing. And we know, as you know as well, that in sport, you can be number one in your sport.
Mm.
A no name comes from nowhere and suddenly beats you. Does that make
Yeah.
you a bad sportsman? Is that going to affect you for the rest of your career? No, because sport, we know at any given day, any team or any player can win, right?
Well, the thing is, we
So,
need to remember
mm,
also that Nudgee College was the number one school in the world for schools last year, and Great College was in the top three of world schools last year, or in the top 10 at least of world schools,
mm,
and they were also ranked fourth in South Africa. They finished last year on number four.
number
So
four,
both
correct.
teams are two world-class outfits. So
Yeah,
on the day, any of those two teams can win. And we've had an interview with both of the coaches. We had an interview with
correct.
Great College's coach, as well as Nudgee College, Sean Graham. And the coaching staff at Nudgee College is absolutely something to behold of. It's absolutely incredible.
Mm,
The staff they've got just for coaching purposes is absolutely
yes.
unreal.
And as you correctly said, we had interviews with both coaches. And from both coaches, they really looked forward to this game at St. John's, right?
Yeah,
And knowing from both coaches, and they both of the coaches told us as well that
yeah.
it can go either way, but all they are looking forward to is to play against each other, two top sides battling it out. And at the end of the day, you know what I saw as well, and afterwards, and we were privileged to speak to some of the Nudgee College players while we were getting food between some of the games. And we specifically asked them about this, about the Grey College game. And
Mm.
typically these young boys, all they said is it was one of the most physical, hardest games they've ever played. But afterwards, the hospitality between the two sides were second to none. And that
Yeah,
makes this so much more sweet at the end of the day. Even Great College, they lost.
absolutely.
Um, the season is still long. It's not the end of the world. And they can hold their heads high and know that we stand behind them and that the season is still very long. And we know we're going to still see great things from both sides this year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hilton College 65-14 against Nelspruit. Of course, Hilton College is also in the top 10 of South Africa.
Yes.
They ranked 10th. One of KwaZulu-Natal's top two best teams together with Durban. And then Bishops finishing the day against the host, one of the top schools in Western Capes against one of the giants in the Gauteng,
Yes.
24-7.
Yes. All right. So this is day number 2. Steve, because we are old Rankies, you know, this was the very first game on Saturday. So we
Yeah.
arrived early, we walked around, we did a pre-match analysis, and I was really hoping that Randburg would take it by 10, but St. David's gave nothing away.
Yeah.
And it was very funny because where we sat in front of us, we had a lot of Randburg supporters, and at our backs, we had St. David's. And
Yeah.
it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No one gave anything away in this game.
Yeah.
But in the very last second, St. David's scored a try. It was heartbreaking, but give both teams the credit. They really played a good game. And this really set the bar for the rest of Saturday. And then Nudgee College, second team again against St. Benedict's, 48-7. Nudgee College really played well.
Yeah.
That was a very, very good game. You could see they gelled very well during that game, and they really brought it to St. Benedict's. Then Nelspruit, St. Albans. Now, ooh, was this a close game? Again, nothing given away. Both teams played very well, and unfortunately, during this game, 3 players, I think 2 from Nelspruit and 1 from St. Albans, got
Yeah.
injured very badly. That was very sad to see. Um, but afterwards, the embracing, congratulating, and just have a chat with the 2 teams, that really made it worthwhile. Then the hosts and the Golden Lions Invitational. This was also a very good game. This was a really good game. We really enjoyed to watch this game. It could have gone either or, but St. John's really made up for the first day, and it was good to see. And then, hey, Westlake boys versus Welkom. What a phenomenal game. A
Yeah.
high-paced game. Um, and Welkom don't take anything away from them. They really tried very hard, but you could see that Westlake had the better camaraderie between the players. The communication was very good. So I think this is why they got the better of Welkom. Then the
Yeah.
last game of Saturday, unfortunately, we didn't stay until the last game, but Graham College versus Bishops 39-26. So
Wow.
another good result for Graham.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And don't take anything away from Bishops. I think this was also a very entertaining game, a very high scoring game. You can see 65 points in 70
Yeah.
minutes. So almost a point a minute. So that was very good. Um, and you know, while we were there on Saturday as well, just before we go on, um, the vibe, the people, they were excellent, excellent, excellent. And also a shout out to the supporters from St. Albans. They sat behind us as well on our right shoulder. And they, if it wasn't for them, I think that game wouldn't have been as entertaining as it was. So
Yeah.
typically your parents, they were going crazy, and we just enjoyed this whole vibe that came from them. It was excellent, excellent. And also, I think kudos to St. John's for organizing a very well oiled tournament. Um, Everything went smoothly. There were no hiccups while we were there on Saturday. So well done on them.
Awesome. Yeah, of course, we given a very complete summary of the St. John's because that was, of course, the one that we focused on. We're going to
Mm,
give the results of the other ones, but for time purposes, we're just going to run through them so that you can have a look at them.
yes.
Which festival is the next one?
St. Scythians, Saints.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Let's let's have a look at
day
day one.
one, day one.
St. John's,
Yeah, St.
24-21
John's
against this.
Harare from Zim.
Yeah,
Beat
24-21.
Yes. And then Weinberg, um, they won 84-0. The school they played against wasn't mentioned here. I'm very surprised. Then this was a very interesting result.
Yeah,
The Mali 15 invitational side 34, Clifton College 21.
yeah.
Now, this is an interesting one as well. Northcliffe High 18, St. Charles College 7.
I would like to give a special shout out to one of our members, Carolyn Banda. Her son, Matthew Banda,
Mm.
played for Northcliffe High in his
Oh,
first team.
nice.
Super proud of him and well, congrats. And Northcliffe, of course, is one of your up and coming teams. They're also now well inside the top hundreds. They in just between the 60th and 70th place.
Hmm.
So it's great to see them at the St. Stadiums Festival. Also starting off with a win, 18-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoërskool Kempton Park 27-15 against Petersburg. And then Hartbury College from UK
Yeah, they
lost
lost.
14-27.
Yes, they lost. That's an interesting one
Very interesting result.
because I think Hotbury is one of your better schools in the UK or within England. And they lost. That's a very interesting one. And then day two, Weinberg Boys High against the hosts, 28-12. Marley 15 against Hoërskool Petersburg, 33-27. Now that's a close game. That is very
Yeah,
good. Then Hartbury College, 47, Garshis, 18.
Wow.
That's an
That's a good
interesting
one.
one. That is
Wow.
because we know from last year, Garsfontein really came through the ranks.
Wow. Wow.
And then Hoërskool Middelburg, 14, and then Northcliffe High. Now, this is an interesting one. Northcliffe versus Windhoek, 39-35. So this could
Brilliant.
have gone either way.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a
And
great
then,
result for Northcliffe.
yes.
Just quickly, I just want to look at day three's results. I do have it here. Let me just go to day three
Mhm,
of the St. Stadions Festival. Here we go. Right. So day three, Windhoek played against the Mzondili, Mali. They started off the day, and Windhoek High won 47-35.
mhm.
Hartbury College, they played against Northcliffe, and they had a resounding victory, 54-20.
Oh,
Kempton Park won against Garsfontein Invitational Team, 38-17. And then Petersburg had a good win, 39-18 against St. John's Harare.
wow. Right. Now, the third one, Kes. And interesting enough, this was only a 2-day festival, not a
Yes,
3-day.
that's correct. Yeah,
Very, very interesting. Right. So the day one, Kes 45, St. Andrew's College 12,
yeah,
Alderain 56, Pearson High School 14,
yeah,
Northwood 47, Marlow 7, Hudson Park 37, Worcestershire 10. Now look at this one. This is a very interesting one and a very
yeah,
low scoring game. Queen's
yeah,
College 13, Noordheuwel 7.
yeah.
Aha. Now here's another Australian school.
Yes,
Cranbrook,
Cambrook.
yes, 29, Dale College 24. That is
Wow.
also a very interesting score line.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh dear, that's the only one I got hold of during the time
Uh,
of release.
I actually have they choose results of case. Let me
Oh,
just quickly
nice.
go. Yeah, let me just quickly go through to it. Just give me a second.
Hmm.
Great stuff. Right, day two. Alderain drew against Hudson Park, 17 all. Dale College had a good win against Worcestershire, 15-7. Pearson College, 26-14 against Australia Cranbrook. I actually watched all of these games and it was very, very entertaining rugby.
Yes.
Noordheuwel, one of your top teams, they are actually ranked inside the top 20 of South Africa currently.
Mhm.
Good sounding victory against Marlow, 29-5. Northwood had a strong, strong victory against St. Andrews, 52-21.
Oh,
And then
wow.
the last game of the tournament, of course, the host case.
Mm.
Also a team they were actually before the game, they were ranked 31st, but I'm sure they're going to jump up a couple of positions because they played against a team just outside the top 20. And Case, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant display of rugby. They won the game against Queen's College 33-13.
Oh, wow. So you see, we are only a couple of weeks into the season, but a very few surprising results and
Yeah,
upsets that has happened. Um, and it is not like like we predicted last year, that we knew, okay, the teams that we know will win, the teams that would probably be in the top 10 or even in the top 20. This year has been a very seesaw ride for all the teams, right?
oh
And
yes.
this makes it very interesting for the season going forward. So I am in an anticipation for a mouth-watering 2026 season, Steve.
Yeah, Schoolboy Rugby in Africa is growing and it's becoming more and more professional.
Yes.
And we also have to emphasize, yes, we also need to keep in mind we are talking about schoolboy rugby, so that the
Mm.
enjoyment must still be there. But the reality is, there's also a balance between enjoyment and also preparing the future for the next step forward. So schoolboy
Yes.
rugby in South Africa is growing, and it's exciting to see that the gap between the top 5 in South Africa and the top 10 and even beyond to top 100 is actually growing closer and closer and closer. It's actually narrowing. At the end of the day, any team in the top 10 can beat one another, and that is for me is very good to see. The old days,
Yes.
it was only the Paul teams and Paul Roos and Great College and Office. They were absolutely dominating, but now you can actually see that the gap is starting to narrow,
Yes.
and
And
more teams like Stellenberg and those teams are raising up their hands, and that's good to see.
and isn't this exciting to see that
Yeah,
if you see your big derbies, right? That before we would think, okay, team A is going to take this one. But now
yeah,
it can be anyone's game, right?
absolutely. Yeah,
And
I know it's very exciting.
and this is what makes it so exciting. And although maybe we might end up in hospital with all the excitement and maybe a heart attack, but or whatever the case might be. But I think this is what's going to keep us alive for 2026, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then this is the other one, Kearsley College, right?
Yeah,
So um, they won Helpmacar Glenwood 24-5. I watched that game, and Helpmacar really put on a very strong, solid performance. They
yeah.
gave nothing away, right? Transvalia Peterhouse 26-5.
Peter House, of course, is from Zimbabwe.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Wow. So we've had two Zimbabwean schools to compete in the Easter festivals. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing. We had a couple. We had 6 teams from overseas, 2 from Zimbabwe, 2 from Australia, 1 from the UK, and then 1 from Namibia. So we had 6 international schools representing their countries at the school
Mm,
festival, and that for me
isn't that
was
amazing?
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
and of
Then
course New Zealand also.
yes, and then Westville Framesby ish 83-0.
Yeah,
And then the hosts versus Rustenburg 43-14. Milnerton versus Ege Janssen. 2027. That's an
yeah, very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
And now, the other team that you and I have been speaking about, Swartkop, although they
yeah,
lost, but this is very good exposure for them to be part of an Easter festival um, coming 2026. And I
absolutely.
really hope in the future that either at Kersney or one of the 4 main Easter festivals within Gauteng that they will be invited. I think that
Yeah,
would be excellent for them because they can only
yeah.
grow from this experience.
Oh yes, Durban High School, of course, is also one of the teams that's always up and about, just inside the top 10 or just outside the top 10 in South Africa.
Mm.
Swartkorp have actually made their rounds through the top 100, racing through the top 100s. At one stage, they were just outside the top 50, moves up to 42nd. They're actually now as high as 23rd,
Oh,
according to the latest
wow.
rankings I've received. So Swartkorp is one of the teams, new kids on the block, that is really, really causing a couple of surprises. So watch
Mm.
for them.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Then day two, Peterhouse, Milnerton, 29-23. I think that's a good result.
yeah,
Durban High School, Rustenburg, 38-7.
yeah,
Now, look at this one. Swartkop, 41. Ege
yeah.
Janssen,
Brilliant,
32. That
brilliant.
must have really kick-started their season for them. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then Glenwood Framesby, 14-15. Now, after the wallop they got on the first day, they actually had a win, but just, right?
Yeah.
And then Kersney, Transvalia, 33-13. Westville, Helpmachar. Now, this is also an interesting result, 33-17.
Of course, the Westville is one of your top schools in Natal, also a team that's inside the top 20. And Helpmachar is currently ranked just outside the top 10. They ranked in 11th. And Helpmachar, as we all know, reached the finals of the Val Trophy last year, losing to Gasfontein. So that's a really good result for Westville against Helpmachar, 33-17.
Right. So very interesting that these results are very mixed. They win one game, they lose the next one. So
Yeah,
very, very good, in my opinion, right? And
absolutely.
that's unfortunately I did not have Pretoria Boys.
I've got a freeze result. I've got Pretoria Boys High and the last day of Kersney.
Right.
I'll just quickly go through it. Right. So day 3, Framesby started off day 3, winning 10-7 against Transvalia. Glenwood 14-12 against EG Janssen. Rustenburg 26-17 against Peterhouse. And then Westville had a good solid victory against Milnerton 41-3. Durban High School then played against Helpmachar. So Helpmachar didn't have a great tournament, unfortunately. Durban High School coming out victorious, 39-27. And then Kersney ended off the tournament against Swartkop. Good solid victory, 22-19. Very entertaining game.
All right.
The Pretoria Boys High results, they've also only had 2 days. Now,
Yes.
the Pretoria Boys High tournament was absolutely jam-packed with top teams. There's a couple of, there was about 6 or 7 teams in the top 20 in South Africa that competed here.
Oh, wow.
Grey Eye, this is not Great College, this is the Eastern Cape Giants,
Yes.
the number 1 team in Eastern Cape. They started off the day, good solid victory against Parktown, 40-18. Rondebosch, also a team that's very regularly sometimes in the top 10 of South Africa. I think that last year they were just outside. They started their campaign 57-17 against Selborne. Michael House, and this is a very interesting victory, against Affie. Michael House ranked 15th in South Africa against Affie's that has actually slumped down from 4th to 8th. And
Yes.
Michael House winning 29-27. Now, that is also a great victory. Yeah.
And
Maritzburg,
sorry, Steve, just to stop on that one as well. That was social media, like with Grey College and Nudgy. Social media went on a frenzy because Michael House beat Affie's. It was the same thing. So I want to give a shout out to the Affie's guys as well to say that, yes, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but the season is young and keep your heads high and you will see better results coming.
Oh yes. As I said, the depth in South African rugby is absolutely incredible, and it's just scary. It's just scary to see how big the pool is. And besides the top 200 ranked teams in South Africa, there's actually a lot of schools outside the top 200 that is also got. So we're talking about 500 to 1,000 schools, high schools that's participating in rugby in South Africa. There's not an estimate, but it's just incredible. Schoolboy rugby in South Africa is insane. There's no doubt about it. Maritzburg College, they played against JP, 35-12. And then Pretoria Boys High finished off day 1. Good victory against Sachs, 35-34.
That's interesting.
Very, very interesting. Day 2, Selborne College starting off the day, 26-5 against Parktown. Maritzburg College, 24-7 against Sachs. Affie's made up for day 1, playing against Grey High, the Giants of Eastern Cape, 66-19 for Affie's. So that was a good, solid victory to jump back from. Michael House um, built on their victory against Affis with a good victory against Jeppe, 40-36. Now, we have to remember Jeppe is also ranked inside the top 10. At one stage, they were 7th or 8th in South Africa.
Yes.
So that's a very good victory for Markerhouse, 40-36.
Yes.
And then Rondebosch finished the day against the host. Rondebosch coming out victorious, one of 43-20. And of course, Pretoria Boys is Affis' biggest enemy.
Yes.
Ranked just outside the top 50, and Rondebosch, of course, ranked inside the top 20.
Yeah.
And that was your 5 festivals.
Yeah. And also with the Pretoria Boys High Festival, it is the celebration of 125 years in existence.
Incredible.
So
oh, yes.
That, if you try to fathom that, I mean, Affis also 120 odd years old. All the other schools, it just shows you how far back schoolboy rugby, when it started, and it's still very much alive today. And that is exciting. That is very exciting, Steve.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. We've got a rich history of schoolboy rugby, and it's absolutely growing. We went to the North-South tournament. We spoke to a couple of the coaches, and all of them were absolutely in awe to see how much schoolboy rugby in Africa is growing.
Yes.
It's just incredible. We spoke to the schoolboys, and all of them were, it's the greatest honor for a schoolboy in South Africa to represent their first team. I mean, I've said it before. You can just see it the moment when they ran on the field. All of them's got their hands on their hearts. That's what it means for them. It's passion and glory for your school.
Yes, 100%. And, also the Easter festivals, we actually had very good weather in Gauteng for those days. So we are actually very blessed to be privileged to have such a variety of schoolboy festivals during that time. And we are based in Joburg. We could have easily got in the car and drove down to Pretoria Boys High. It's as simple as that. So,
yes.
And well done on all the schools that came to participate, whether you won, whether you lost. The season is still early. I want to give a shout out to all the schools, and just tell them that, the season is young. Enjoy your rugby and have fun. Make yourself proud, make the team proud. And above all, schoolboy rugby needs to win. Schoolboy rugby must be the winner at the end of the day. Right, Steve. So anything else from your side?
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's been a great Easter festival. It's been amazing. We've seen some incredible rugby.
Yes.
Looking forward. It's now back to normal.
Yes.
Of course, the Willekeur tournament is also a big tournament in schoolboy rugby that's going to be at Kimberley. That we will also bring to you from the studio. But this Saturday, it's going to be Rand Park against Randburg High. That's going to be our focus game for the weekend. We will bring you the results, but of course, that's going to be our focus. And I believe, Louis, you and Von will be at the game for Rand Park. This is Rand Park at Randburg Stadium.
Yes, we will be Rand Park versus Randburg. We will be there. You will be in the studio. Unfortunately, we would have loved to have you there, but you will be there with us in spirit. And this is our focus for this weekend.
Yes.
We are looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yes, I've actually done some bit of research. Randburg is currently, they were 117th, but if they had a couple of close results and good performances, they now currently 97th in South Africa, back in the top 100, which is good, because that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be. Rand Park is ranked 150th in South Africa. They're inside the top 200. Remember, as I said the last time at the Noordside, it's only the top 200 teams in South Africa that's ranked. So if you make the top 200 rankings, that means you're a recognized top school in South Africa, and you're in consideration for the festivals.
Yes.
So we will, Louis van Kopenhagen, Mr. Schoolboy Bonanza, will be at Randburg High to watch our old alma maters, and he will of course have our scout, Mr. Von. That's gonna be with us, and please join us on Saturday. We will bring you live interviews on the field. We will bring it to you live on our group with the coaches, players, maybe a couple of the moms and dads, spectators. It's gonna be a jam-packed day, so please keep an eye out for the videos. It will also later on be viewed on our YouTube channel. So it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And then, of course, later on, we will also bring all the other games.
Yes.
We will give you the results of that, but that's all on Monday.
Yes.
That is it from our side. Once again, it's been a jam-packed day. Mr. Schoolboy Bonanza, thank you once again for for being here.
Yes, thank you for you, Steve. And I am very excited for the Easter festivals for 2027 already. I can't wait. And let's enjoy the rest of the season and have fun.
Absolutely. Yes. Also, we would like to thank our members. We are absolutely growing as a community. It's absolutely scary. We are touching 600 members. The last time we spoke, we were just over the 500. We are now almost 600 members.
Yes.
If you're not on Facebook, you're watching this on YouTube, but you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you would like to join our group on Facebook, join our Facebook group. We've also got a channel. We've also got a TikTok channel. We've got a WhatsApp channel. And then, of course, we've also got an Instagram channel. So please join us out. Then, of course, we would like to give a special shout out to some of our top members that's always contributing. Sports Fanatics, Dave Brown, all the way from England. Leanne Nell, that's always giving us some great posts. And then I also would like to give a shout out to Suzanne Ferguson for giving a couple of good posts and join the Tag a Friend campaign that she's launching. She wants to give out a Springbok jersey.
Oh wow! Isn't that amazing?
For free. That's incredible. For anyone that enters and that's on the post, just tag a friend, and you can have an opportunity to win a Springbok jersey. That's of course on our Facebook group.
Yes.
And then of course, if you want to catch up this episode will be on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook channel.
Yes.
You can also go to our featured section for all the other episodes. If you've maybe missed any of the other 15 episodes, just go to our featured tagged section and you can catch up. Then I would also like to besides myself and Louis, I would also like to thank our team, our other admin, Elaine Hogan from Ireland, that is promoting Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza in Ireland, as well as promoting and creating awareness in Schoolboy Rugby. Thank you so much to Elaine. Of course, as I always say, the legend, our journalist, Mr. Arnu, always there helping us with the interviews. Thank you so much. He's also, of course, in charge of the magazine. And then, of course, Louis' beloved wife. She was also the camera woman at the St. John's Festival.
She jumped in as cameraman, and she did a very good job. So
brilliant. Yeah, Sarah, absolutely. Sarah van Kopenhagen, thank you so much. And then, of course, our other cameraman, Brian Dudley, also an absolute star, a legend. Always there. If he doesn't have other work commitments, he's always with us on the rugby days. And then, of course, our scout, Von, he was with us at the Noordstate tournament. What a great asset he is to the team. And then, of course, he was also co-presenter at the St. John's Festival with Louis. And he's also going to be the co-presenter, I believe, for the Randburg game. He's going to be with Louis.
He will be co-presenting with me this Saturday. So we are looking forward to that. I think we'll get up to our shenanigans as per usual. So keep an eye out for
Absolutely.
that one.
Great stuff. Thank you so much once again for joining us. Until next time, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.